Hey, what's going on? This is your boy Charles at Chadwick Experiences, where I have one goal. I want people to learn, earn, and thrive in their everyday life. So I have another guest. This is a professional recording vocal artist, and his name is Garan Patrick. I know him personally, but at first I didn't. It was strictly business. And he helped me with some audiobooks that I was way far behind, guys. It's so important. You see, with AI, a lot of people are writing books. Not only is it good to write a book or even do an ebook, but it's also important to have the audiobook so that people can read and get to know who you are on multiple platforms. So everybody, please welcome professional vocal artist, Garan Patrick.
All right, I'm glad to be here. Like you said, my name is Garan Patrick. I do want to clarify, I don't do any music. I'm not musically inclined. I know you said vocal artist. You could say vocal artist, voice actor, voiceover artist, voice talent, however you want to phrase it. They're all they can be used kind of synonymously. But yeah, glad to be here on the program. Thank you for having me, Charles.
No problem, man. And I just want to jump right into it. So I see one of the many companies you've done work for, but can you explain what it was like to work with Peak and who are they and what did you do for them?
Yeah, that was one of my favorite projects for sure. I did a promo video for them. I think I did two, but they ended up, they wanted a couple different takes and then they chose one. So they're a travel company, and so they're using this new AI program to help kind of customize your travel plans. So I did basically kind of like a commercial for them, a promo video for them. So that was a great opportunity for me.
Nice. Next, I saw that you did the Smithsonian magazine, man. I know that had to be awesome.
Yeah, that was fun. I did a promo video for them. They were doing a special on their YouTube channel. They have a special for their Malcolm X exhibit they have at the Smithsonian, one of their museums. And so I got to do a promo video for that exhibit. So that was pretty cool, kind of telling the story of Malcolm X.
Malcolm X, a man forged in the fires of struggle and transformation. He would rise to become one of the most...
Okay, great. Next, I saw you did the Fair Harbor, which seems like maybe some swim gear or something, major company gear.
So they make swim gear. I've seen them on the news. They're a really big up and coming company. They make a lot of their materials out of recycled materials, and I think they're really strong in promoting, taking waste away from the oceans, something like that. So it was cool to be able to work with a company that's doing a lot of good things.
Okay. Next, I saw too, and correct me if I'm wrong, man. It's spelled Shimano. Would you say Shimano?
Correct. Yeah, Shimano.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a Japanese fishing company. If you're not in the fishing world, you don't know them. But if you are in the fishing world, they kind of the deep sea fishing or lake fishing, they're top of the line fishing company to make rods and reels and line and stuff like that. So did a promo video with them as well. That was a lot of fun also.
And if I'm not mistaken, you just educated me, billion-dollar company, that one for sure.
That one, yeah. I didn't get billions for that project, but they I was well compensated. So that was a blessing.
Nice. And then last, you put me on game with Harvest Host. You were saying if somebody has a RV, they can definitely travel and do multiple things with their RV. Can you explain what Harvest Host is? And you did a promotion for them as well.
Correct. Yeah, I did a few promo videos for them. So Harvest Host is a kind of a community between people who own farms and vineyards and with large amounts of land, and people who have RVs. And people who have RVs, they can go and have a partnership with those landowners. They can go and stay on their vineyard or on their farm, and they stay there for free. And there's kind of a partnership with them. Is kind of understood that we stay on your land for free, but we're going to have a friendship, or we're going to buy some of your product, stuff like that from your farm. And so it's kind of like a paid membership that RV owners can buy into, and it's kind of a cool community.
Got you, man. Well, I love this introduction, man. I found Garrett, I'm not going to say on what platform, but I did find him on an online platform that has millions of people that I could have picked to do my audiobook. But when I heard your distinctive voice, it represented so much for me. It was like, that's what my book energy is like. And I know we worked together and you helped me out really. I mean, you did 2 audiobooks for me, probably in less than like a month and a half with you carrying the load of your other clients. So I will say this guy's voice is very professional. You hear it now, but he can get into any type of character you need him to get into. Next, we're going to jump into the question as far as in your profession. The one thing I like to do here at Chadwick Experiences is just show the next generation or current generation what's out here in the big old wide world as far as professions, because a lot of people have gifts and sometimes they don't know how to use them. So we're going to jump into the questions next.
Sounds good.
Journey into voice work. What first inspired you to pursue your voiceover as a career, and how did you break the industry, Garan?
That's a good question. So I did Uber in LA for a year when I lived in Southern California. I had a few people kind of in the Hollywood industry, not famous, but some people who work kind of behind the scenes. They told me like, dude, you need to look into voice work because you have the voice for it. And so I wasn't really interested in it at the time, but I kind of kept that in the back of my mind. And then a few years later, I kind of reached a point where I needed to do a career shift. And I was like, yeah, I need to pick a new career. The one I'm doing right now is not meant for me. And so I started thinking about different things and, being a firefighter and other things. And I thought, hey, let's try that voice thing. So I took some classes on, YouTube University, and just watched video after video after video, kind of educating myself on the industry. Then went out and bought the cheapest equipment I could find that was suitable to get started in the voiceover industry. Made an acoustically treated space, basically put my mic and my computer on a little table and then put a blanket over my head. I think that's how everyone starts in the voiceover industry.
Yeah, for sure.
You got to start somewhere. So I did that, and then I developed an account on a couple of freelancing platforms. I did Upwork and I did Fiverr. Those 2 platforms are set up completely differently. On Upwork, you as a freelancer have to go and apply for all the individual jobs. You submit your proposals for them and see if they land, if they get called back. On Fiverr, you create a profile, and then the client actually searches for different voices for what they're looking for. So if you appear on their search, then they might, click on your profile and they'll message you. So they work differently in that sense. So I did that for a while. The middle, I think the summer of 2023. Yeah, 2023. And for like 6 months, it didn't really have much traction. And then I started to get a little bit of traction, and I got kind of excited and motivated. I'm like, okay, I'm going to invest more time in this and make some more samples and tweak it and make it better, boost up my profile. And then I started getting more traction. The 2 things that were hitting was YouTube narrations and audiobooks. So those things were hitting. I was getting traction with those. I was getting jobs for those 2 parts of the industry. And so I was able to just keep on doing it and I got more impressions and more clicks and more orders, on those 2 platforms, mainly on Fiverr. And through that, I was able to, after a short time, quit my other job and just be full-time in the voiceover industry. So I've been doing that. Those are the 2 primary things that I do. But like I said, every once in a while I do an ad, or I do a promo video, or I do an explainer video for a company, or a narration for a corporate video for a company. And what I'm really trying to get into in the second half of this year is commercials. That's really what I got into the voiceover industry for. That's my dream. That's my passion. I'd love to do commercials. Haven't landed like a big actual commercial on TV yet, but I'm going to really be spending time investing into really practicing and getting better at that specific area of voiceover, and hopefully start landing some good gigs.
Nice, man. And I'm gonna have to get off script, man. I have a question for you that's just popped up in my mind.
Go for it.
When you was doing Uber, you said you had all these probably just everyday people customers, but when they heard your voice, they encouraged you to get in that field. And I would say that's kind of like what started me with Chadwick Experience. I had so many people say, hey, you can talk. I'm from the South, I'm from North Carolina, so we always say the mouth of the South. So I love talking to people, interviewing them. How many people did it take for you to finally say, okay, if I'm hearing this person I'm driving around as an Uber driver saying, I have a voice in the Hollywood area, how many encouragement did it take for it to finally click? Because I want my listeners to know that every day of our lives, we always have people that can maybe see our gifts more than we can see it, just in our everyday lives, working in a job that might not even be our true profession.
Yeah. To be honest, it was a small amount. It was about 3 people.
Wow.
But it was more, to me, it was more about quality than quantity, because I was having people like in the film industry, in the Hollywood industry, people, I forget what those individuals did, but they worked behind the scenes with making films, making movies. And so it was like, if these people who are in the Hollywood industry are telling me that I need to get into voice work, they know what they're talking about, because they've dealt with people who do voice work. They've seen voice artists before. So I was like, that kind of really, and I've heard people tell me I have a radio voice and all that stuff all the time. But those 3 people really kind of put it in my head.
Bet, man. But I can honestly say too, man, when I first, because again, people don't know on these platforms, Fiverr, Upload, there's thousands. I don't want to say millions. I don't think it could be it could be, but there's thousands of voices. And I clicked through, but when I heard Garan Patrick voice on multiple samples, I said, that's the voice I need for my book. So your voice is very distinctive, man.
I appreciate it. That's encouraging to me. Thank you.
The next question is, again, and I think you kind of answered a little bit, the daily grind and the process. Can you walk us through your typical work day, like from warming up from your voice to delivering a finished product?
Yeah, for sure. What I do in the morning, I'm glad that I'm the only one there, because I sound terrible. So when I first wake up, obviously everyone has morning voice, but me having a deep voice, I have really bad morning voice, and I have no expression. It just sounds terrible. Unless, I mean, there's some voice, like if I'm doing like a narration for like a scary story, my morning voice is actually good for it. But for most of what I do, audiobooks and stuff like that, I need to warm my voice up. And this is the part where I'm glad no one's there, because I'm not musically inclined, but I do like singing warm-ups, like, do your E's go up the scale, go down the scale up, and then the O's and the I's and stuff like that. I do some lip trills where you kind of, you look like an idiot if I were to do it, but you kind of, just kind of breathe out and then do it louder, and just kind of do like a siren, up and down, kind of open up your registers. Do a little bit of the head voice stuff to open that up as well. I do just some simple breathing exercises, some stretches, just to get the blood flowing. Do a little jumps, a little bit, shake my arms and my hands, just kind of get the blood flowing so that my voice is fully functional. And do some yawning as well, open up the palate, so a couple of those things. And then I let my voice kind of open up a little bit. Sometimes if I do have some kind of a deep voiceover, if I'm narrating, sometimes I'll narrate for like a horror story on YouTube. I'll do that right in the morning, because those projects are good for deep voice. And then by the time I'm done doing that, my voice will naturally be more open. And it's good if you're doing some kind of character voice, which I don't do too much. There is a book that I'm working on right now where I have to do kind of a Joker voice, and really cool project. And so I have to kind of get that raspy laugh in there. And if you do something that has a lot of rasp, you want to do that at the end of the day, because it's going to kind of drain your voice a little bit. So you want to put those more extreme jobs towards the end of the day, so it doesn't strain you for the rest of the work that you're doing. And even right now, like I spent all day doing an audiobook, and audiobooks are marathons. So
for sure,
it really puts strain on your voice. So my voice even right now is not as fresh as it would be in the like late morning or something like that, because I've exhausted so much of my voice throughout the day. But yeah, so I'll start the day doing some. I'll go on some platforms and see if there's anything I want to apply for. I'll do after that. I'll get into my just voice warm-ups, and I'll look through my messages, see if there's anyone I need to message, and then I'll get into whatever projects I'm working on for the day.
Okay. Well, man, that sounds like a busy day as a voice actor, man. I know I can act now, but It sounds like you got it to the nitty gritty, man. And again, when they check out your profile at the end of this, they're going to really see the different distinctive tones, voice, characters that you can be with that voice, man.
Yeah, I just want to shout out my website, GaranPatrickVO.com, GARAN PatrickVO.com. If you want to check out any of my samples, audiobook samples, character samples, I've got my commercial demo reel on there, so check it out.
The next question I wanted to ask you is like challenges in the industry. What's the biggest challenge in the building as a sustainable voiceover career? How did you overcome it? And I think you kind of talked about it in the beginning. You know, you took jobs that you necessarily probably wasn't your cup of tea, but at the end of the day, you have built yourself as a brand now that you can kind of pick and choose which type of work you want to work on.
Yeah, I would say the biggest problem, well, I mean, obviously the biggest problem is getting at the beginning, getting work and getting to the point you're getting jobs, you're landing jobs. I was fortunate in the sense that audiobooks started landing for me, and then I landed like a really big one at the beginning, which I think kind of catapulted me forward on the algorithm and then just things just kept going forward after that. But now that I'm in the industry and on those platforms getting work, I think one of the problems I have that I'm still, because almost all my work is coming from those platforms. One of the problems you have is platform dependency, because on some of these platforms, you never know how their algorithm's going to work, and you never know how they're going to change it. And you never know how to really do what they're expecting to make your score go up and stay high. And all of a sudden, sometimes your score goes down. Like, why did my score go down? I don't really understand why. They're not really telling me why. But now that my score has gone down, my impressions, which means how many times your profile shows up on people's searches, my impressions have gone down, my clicks have gone down. So being dependent on these platforms and their algorithms and their AI systems that determine who's doing good and how well you're doing, that's been a problem at times, because during some of those times my work slows down. Like right now, my work has slowed down. So I think it's starting to pick up a little bit, but so that's one of the things about being a freelancer. Like I don't have, a 9-to-5. I don't have a salary. I don't have a guaranteed paycheck. There's no I've got a couple projects I'm working on right now, but after that, I'm not guaranteed any work in the month of September or October or November. Just like the rest of the year, nothing's promised. So I'm kind of living by faith, and it's kind of exciting, but at the same time, it's intimidating as well. So that's one of the problems. One of the I wouldn't say problem, one of the challenges. And I think there's another challenge where I think it's going to be addressed in one of your next questions as well.
The next questions we want to talk about is memorable projects. Is there a particular role or brand or project that stands out, especially meaningful or career defining for you?
Yeah, I thought about this because I saw your list of questions before we started this interview, and I think the project that comes to mind the most is it was the biggest challenge for me. I think that's why it stands out the most. I was very intimidated by it at first, and it was an audiobook, and it was an adventure fantasy audiobook. And the thing is, it's about 650 pages long. So
wow.
I mean, it's not quite Lord of the Rings long, but it's like Harry Potter long. And so I had never done anything like that. And there's all these characters, these some human, some non-human, and so it was a huge challenge. But like looking back at that, I'm like, man, that stretched me so much. And there were over 30 characters in the book, but I would say that for about 15 of them, I had distinct voices for. A couple of them were girl voices. I'm being a guy with a deep voice, I don't do really well with the girl voices, but I tried my best. And having like a deep, powerful voice for some of the warriors, and then more of a younger voice for the young warrior who's coming up, and he's maturing throughout the book, and so you kind of mature your voice as the story progresses. So there's a lot of things going on, and it was challenging, but man, I'm so glad I did it, and I grew so much from that project, and I can take pride in it. And just some of the characters, I think like, man, I made that voice for that character, and it's cool, it's fun. And I realized that through doing that book, that's my favorite genre in the audiobook world, is that adventure fantasy and dark fantasy, where there's like interesting characters, especially like deep voice characters that I can kind of come up with a voice for, and they're, sword wielding soldiers and stuff like that, and warriors. Like I love that kind of stuff. So it was a lot of fun.
Okay, man. Appreciate you sharing us that game. And I know it's probably interesting as a voice actor, because I mean, there are some characters in this world. I'm one of them, but I know you can probably, you mix it up as much as you can when you do have it. Next question I have, and I'm happy that we are talking about this, and of course I have to hit everybody with the industry evolution with new technologies like AI voice entering the space. How do you see the future of human voices talents like evolving? Is it hurting you? Is it helping you? In your case, could you load your voice tone and the AI picks it up, and then you say, now go read this book in my voice tone, in one sense? What is AI doing in your field of work?
Yeah, that's a loaded question. To answer the last part of the question you just mentioned, like loading my voice up and having it do, like I've heard of that, and like I just have no interest in that. Like I like the human aspect of it, and I like the performative aspect of it. Like I want to it's a performing art, and I want to perform it, and even if I can take a shortcut and make more money by having it easier so that the computer's doing it for me after I give it my voice, I'd rather perform my performing art, and keep it as an art. That's kind of how I see that. In terms of like job safety for voice actors, I'm not an expert on this, and I can't really give you a good projection for the far future. I believe that for now we're safe, because the part of the voiceover industry that would be easily taken over by AI, or the most easily taken over by AI, would be YouTube narrations. But and I narrate for a lot of YouTube channels, and one of the things that we keep on hearing is like the YouTube listeners are so sick of AI voices, they want something human. And obviously a lot of YouTube videos are AI voiced, but a lot of these YouTube channels, you look at their comments and like, this is an AI voice. I don't want. They're just tired of it. And I've gotten criticized. I've had clients tell me, you used an AI voice. I thought you were going to use a human voice. I'm like, bro, I've only opened ChatGPT like twice in my life. Like I've never really used AI. Like I don't. Anyways, at least for now. We'll see how good it gets in the future, but at least for now, people even on YouTube are tired of AI. And I think, at least as of right now, when it comes to commercials and when it comes to audiobooks, AI can't do quite what humans can. When it comes to pronunciation, when it comes to knowing when to pause in a sentence for dramatic effect, when it comes to really putting the emotion into something, AI has gotten really good, but there are some human elements of voice that AI as of yet cannot perform that a human can.
I agree, man. And I love your perspective on it. I know a lot of people I don't think we're qualified to answer it yet, but like you say, well, I'm still a human. I plan to use my skills, and like, I love how you said, keep it art. It is an art, by us doing it that way. It's for sure, man. This brings me to my last question. Advice for aspiring, vocal actors as yourself. What are 3 pieces of advice that you would give to someone who has a dream, or like in your case, they have this gift and they don't know they can do it? What would you tell someone, as some advice, 3 little gems, if you could drop for them as far as your profession, man?
Yeah, number 1, I would say do hours and hours of research on YouTube. It's free. You can learn so much about audio editing. You can learn so much about equipment, what kind of mic. I can sit here and talk for hours about all this stuff, but it's like, it'd be better for me to just tell you, go do your own research. There's so much free educational content on there. You want to learn how to use Audacity, you can watch free tutorials. I've never taken a class on Audacity, but I know how to use it because I learned on YouTube. I knew what mic to get. I knew how to treat my space, how to acoustically treat my space, because I watched it on YouTube. So number 1, I would say do hours and hours of research on YouTube. Number 2, I would say especially if you're doing if you want to become a voiceover in the commercial industry, get some training. Now, I've never gotten any training about narration, like for like audiobooks, but that kind of picked up, and I wasn't expecting it, and so I just started doing it, and I kept getting work and work, so I didn't really need to train. I didn't really have time to train for that. But if you're trying to do like commercials or like video games especially, definitely need to get some training. And again, you can try to go on YouTube and try to figure out where are the best places to get class. You can do classes virtually, or you can do classes in person. I just want to shout out Real Voice LA is where I did some of my
Real Voice LA.
Real Voice LA, yeah, great classes. I do virtual classes with them. I did in-person classes with them when I lived in SoCal. So get some training. Number 3, practice. And this is the thing that you can kind of keep me accountable for. This weekend, tomorrow, I'm going to really get into the lab, aka my little makeshift studio, and just really practice, because I want to get into commercials. I have a professional commercial demo reel. I've developed some skills. I've taken some classes, but I have not actually just sat down or stood up and just practice commercial scripts after commercial script. And so that's what I'm going to be doing tomorrow and over the next several weeks. And you just gotta, it is a performance, it is an art, it is a skill. And you are competing against hundreds of other talents. So you got to put in the practice to make sure that you're professional and that you can beat out these other talents as well. So.
Okay, man. Well, I appreciate the advice. And also, more importantly, thanks for sharing your time. I know, hey, when it comes to those audiobooks, you could be in that lab for a while, depending on what book genre and everything else like that. So where can people find you at? If you don't mind giving us, I know we gave the website out earlier. I'll flash the website, your social media, if you have any, LinkedIn or anything like that.
Yeah, for sure. You can find me on LinkedIn. My name is Garan, Garan Patrick. You can check out my website, GaranPatrickVO.com, GaranPatrickVO.com. Those would be the two best places to connect with me, LinkedIn and my website. And on my website, you can find my email address as well.
Okay. I appreciate this time, and they always talk about everybody giving the flowers while they're living, but I have to tell you, man, you really bailed me out. Me being a self-published author, I've done 4 books, and the cool thing about my books is that this is the first one I've ever wrote, Chadwick College Checklist. I did the Cultivated Circumstances, and I had the paperback, the ebook, and audiobooks, but then I turned around and got inspired and wrote 2 more books. So I had the Pastor the Student Loan Disaster, which I'm gonna play a little sample if that's okay. So
go for it.
Earlier, I compared those 4 quarters to 4 years of college. And here's the key part. Just like a game isn't over until the final buzzer, your financial journey isn't over at graduation. If student loans were part of your college journey, then graduation isn't the finish line. Sermon 9. Do loans get better with time? The future of student loans remains uncertain, and opinions on student loan forgiveness are widely divergent. Some argue that attending college is a personal choice.
You did this one for me, and I put a spin on it. I said, hey, Garan, I'm from the South. So at the beginning of each sermon, kind of put a little pastor spin on it, and you knocked it out the ballpark, man. And it really helped me because everybody reads. And I can't even say read now. You got to say read or listen to books because we have audio books. So you knocked this out the park for me. And then my latest book, The Student Loaners, Are You a Winner? Are You a Loser? You did the audio books for the pastor and this book alone, man. So I just want to thank you. And it made me complete, man, because as a self-published author, we need people like you in the space. And I know that was one of the big things too when I uploaded the files you recorded for me. Was AI used for this? Some people do want to hear a human voice instead of the free AI, or a lot of people is doing work, but they're just using AI. So I appreciate the creativity, the sound, the emotion. That's something that we just can't get from AI just yet.
You are a great client to work with. Your books are very creatively written. So I appreciated that, and it made it a more fun project as well.
Well, man, Garan, I definitely appreciate it, man. Not only doing my audiobooks, but just sharing your life, because I have one goal here at Chadwick Experience. I just want people to learn, earn, and thrive in the everyday part of their lives, man. So I want to just thank you for coming on the Chadwick Experiences podcast, man. Appreciate it.
Of course, my pleasure.
Thank you for tuning in to Chadwick Experiences podcast. If you like this podcast, please subscribe and like. Also, check us out on our website at www.chadwickexperiences.com. We also have books that can help you get a different outlook. Thank you for tuning in.